7 leaden discs with symbols of Saturn and Taurus glow menacingly among wilted plants. Our crops have suffered from blight, and the results we were hoping for have eluded us. Crowley describes this card in the following way. There is no effort here, not even dream. The stake has been thrown down, and it is lost. That is all. Labor itself is abandoned. Everything is sunk in sloth. Hello, my name is Beata. Welcome to another episode of my Thoth series. In this one, we will be talking about the 7 of discs. If you find my videos valuable, you can show your support by becoming a patron or with a one-time donation through PayPal. All links are in the video description below. Thank you very much for considering this. Your support will allow me to continue making these videos for you. Okay, let's get back to the 7 of discs now. We have leaden discs here because lead is the metal of Saturn, the ruler of the decan associated with this card. And we have 4 discs here where the glyph of Saturn has been turned into a drawing of a face in profile. And we also have 3 discs with the head of a bull to symbolize Taurus. Saturn has a very stable and strong influence in this card. Crowley explains that the suit gives the extreme of passivity. So in the element of Earth, Saturn's tendency to restrict, limit, and introduce boundaries will be heavily emphasized. The influence of Saturn can sometimes be also positive, but Crowley reminds us that it can only happen above the abyss, so in the 3rd Sephira Bina. And this means that the positive effects can only be seen in the 3s of this deck. We do have some influence from Venus here, through the 7th Sephira Netzach, but according to Crowley, Netzach always has an enfeebling effect on the energy. And this is made worse here by the astrology of the card. So even though Venus rules the sign of Taurus, she can't offer us much help in the heaviness of the overall energy. We are in the last decan of Taurus now, associated with the time frame from 11th of May until the 20th of May. And you might be thinking that there should be something positive in this card because the methodical and consistent energy of Taurus should be harmonious with the strictness and structure of Saturn. The problem is, of course, that these 2 energies go too much into one direction. We always have the best results if the energies complement each other, if they have opposite qualities that work well together. The discs in this card are arranged in the geomantic figure called the rubeus. And geomancy is a method of divination where we interpret patterns created by coins, rocks, or other small objects tossed on the ground. It's quite complicated and we don't need to go into too much detail here, we just need to know what the figure of rubeus signifies. And Crowley says that this is the most ugly and menacing of the 16 possible figures. He also states that rubeus is of such evil omen that certain schools of geomancy destroy the map and postpone the question for 2 hours or more when rubeus appears in the ascendant. So we can see that it will be extremely difficult to find any positive side of this card. And this is further emphasized by the dried leaves that we can see in the background. In the Book of Thoth, it's described in the following way. The atmosphere of the card is that of blight. On the background, which represents vegetation and cultivation, everything is spoiled. Blight is a plant disease, typically caused by fungi such as mildew. And this disease spreads quite fast and can affect a large amount of crops, and is also very difficult to get rid of. So we can imagine the disappointment and agony of a gardener who has been waiting for the harvest of their crops And finally, when it's time, they discover that all crops are diseased. And this brings us back to the quote we heard in the beginning. The labor has been abandoned here. The gardener did not keep an eye on his plants. If he did, he would have spotted the early signs of disease. If all affected parts of the plant are quickly removed and burned, it is still possible to save the crop. But the attention and quick action are necessary. If there is no effort, we will lose everything. Now I'm going to tell you a bit about the meaning of this card in divination. 7 of Discs shows us failure. Our hopes are crushed. The promises we heard turn out to be empty. This card can show that even though we were working towards a goal, we can't see any results, or the results are significantly smaller than what we hoped for. It can also mean that our finances are suffering at the moment, usually because we were not careful enough and made some bad decisions. If this card describes a person, this will be someone determined, but also hardened by difficulties that they have experienced. This is not an emotional person, and they might have a tendency to be pessimistic about life, although they will probably say that they are simply realistic. In work-related readings, the 7 of Discs can show bad money. It might be an offer that will turn out to be worthless. And this card can also show a workplace where you will have to work much harder than you expected in the beginning, but even if you persevere, there will still be no reward and no sense of achievement in the end. In relationships, this card shows that there is no happiness, but there is also no effort to do anything about it. Maybe just one of the partners is trying their best to make things work, but their efforts don't bring any results. In spirituality, this card will show that the energy is very weak. There is stagnation in this area and it needs to be addressed immediately. If the 7 of Discs shows up in your reading as advice, it will tell you to be very methodical and economical. Look at what you are doing in a very critical way and assess what is happening realistically. Don't put any more effort in until you are absolutely sure of the results. As an obstacle, the 7 of Discs can show you that what you are currently doing will not bring you desired results. You will be disappointed. It can also show that you are afraid of failure so much that this fear will be causing you to abandon the efforts on your way to your goal. Think of it this way. If you fail, you can learn from your mistakes and do better next time. If you stop doing something because of fear, you learn nothing. That's it for today. Thank you so much for watching, and please remember to like the video, leave a comment, and of course subscribe to my channel. I would like to thank everyone who is already supporting me. I appreciate your help very much. And if you find my videos valuable, you can also show your support by becoming a patron or with a one-time donation through PayPal. All links are in the video description below. Thank you very much for considering this. Your support will allow me to continue making these videos for you. Once again, thank you all for today, and I will see you in the next video about the 8 of Discs very soon. Thank you. Bye.